Have you been wondering how do you get into your number one physical therapy school? If you have, check out this video. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube page, hit that like button so we can get more of this content out to everybody that's out there. Before I get started, I want to give you a little bit of my background and why you should take the next few minutes to watch this video. First and foremost, I want you to know I've been in your shoes. So I got into physical therapy school in 2011. So it hasn't been that long ago. On top of that, I've seen it from the other end of the spectrum. So I'm currently a faculty member. And with me being a faculty member, I've actually been on the committee and I've also chaired multiple committees. And the last thing I'll tell you why you probably should take my advice on some of these things is I've done extensive research and I've had a few publications related specifically toward physical therapy admissions. But I wanted you to know that about me before you made that decision to kind of listen to this video. Because one question I always ask myself is, why am I listening to this person? So let's get into it. How do you get into your number one physical therapy school? The first thing I want to tell you to get into your number one physical therapy school is you have to start early. Some of you may not have ever bought a car before, but if you go to a car dealership, you have what we call these car salesmen. And that's what you are as a PT applicant. You have to sell yourself just like you're a car salesman selling a car. So to do that, you have to figure out what type of car or what are these things the program is looking for. So if you show up to this car dealership and let's just say you're looking for an F-150 pickup truck and the car salesman keeps trying to give you a minivan, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna walk away. So you gotta figure out what are these PT programs, what exactly they're looking for. So if your program is looking for a high GPA, guess what? You gotta sell them and give them a high GPA. If your program is looking for a high GRE score, guess what? You got to sell them and give them that high GRE score. Because if that's what they're looking for and you show up and you're like, well, my GPA ain't that high, but I have these great letters of recommendation. Well, guess what? You just sold them a minivan and they wanted that F-150. So the earlier you start, the easier it is going to be for you to give them what they want. The second thing that you have to make sure you do is you have to meet all of their metrics. Every single thing they ask you to do, you have to do it and you have to do it well. If they tell you they're looking for a GPA, guess what you need? 3.9, 4.0 GPA. If they tell you they need high GRE scores, guess what you're giving them? 320, 320. If they tell you they want volunteer experience, let's just say 100 hours, guess what you give them? 150 hours. If they tell you that they want leadership experience, guess what? You become the president, the vice president, or 2 to 3 different associations. Meet their metrics, give them what they want, and then sometimes go above and beyond what they want. The third thing I'm going to tell you to do is you have to engage with the school. I hate to tell you this, but some schools cloak this thing about objectivity where they're only looking at numbers. But let's be honest, we're all humans. So the more you can put your face in front of them, the better. Call, get to know the office secretaries, show up, go to open houses, like their Facebook page, follow them on Twitter, engage with the faculty, engage with the students. The more you can put your face in front of them, I promise you, the better. Because even though they may tell you it's a completely objective process, I promise you, sometimes the person you are, those things will leak through. And the last thing that I want to tell you is you have to be patient. So when I dive into my research on this, less than 20% of people actually get into their PT school of choice. And to me, that's not a great number. And the reason I'm telling you to be patient is you may not get into your number one school the first time around. And that's okay. But just be patient and reapply next year. Because if you follow those three things that I've given you, then you will almost guarantee your spot in your number one physical therapy school.